Okay, so welcome to, this is a new little feature I'm going to be doing, hopefully a bit more of in the future. This is a Pictish Prism video interview. So today we're going to be speaking to Tapedeck 45. If the band could just introduce themselves and what they do in the band, that would be very much appreciated for our audience.
I'm Sam, I'm the singer and guitarist.
I'm Andrew, I'm the bass player.
I'm Tyler, I'm the lead guitarist and most handsome member of the band.
Hello, Bar. I'm Jordan, guitarist.
I'm Andrew, I play the drums.
That's great. So what did you have planned for 2020 before all this lockdown shenanigans came about?
We're actually, I think we're waiting to release our first EP. Me, Andy, and the boys have been around for years, so we've had some really good songs we've just not recorded. And the plan was to do a tour this summer and obviously play our first shows as a 5-piece and show what we're about, but kind of all got cancelled, and then we got into lockdown and we had just enough equipment to make an album, so we decided to write these 3 tunes, songs for the Socially Distant, and put them out. And I think it's passable. It's not the worst thing we've ever done, is it, lads?
No, it's
sounds. There's lovely acoustic guitar in the second track. I think it's a lovely little collection of songs. So, obviously your EP is called Songs for the Socially Distanced. What kind of influences were you taking from the lockdown and putting into the EP? So what did you take from the lockdown that made you want to create this EP, and how did it affect the songwriting and such?
I think, Tyler, you were saying like your experience of like the songwriting was quite different because you obviously were, new in the band and didn't have the chance to actually be in the studio with us. What did you think of that?
It was a bit like jumping on a moving train. You just sort of like, oh, this is how it's done. But I didn't have any kind of proper recording equipment, any microphones or such, just a phone. But we just sort of positioned it sort of a couple of feet away from where I was playing the acoustic guitar rhythm section on it. But it came out really well. It came out far better than I thought it was going to come out. Tyndall did a fantastic job in the production side of things with that.
Yeah, I certainly feel it sounds just as polished as your other recordings that I've been streaming and stuff. So yeah, it's definitely been a good job in the production, guys. Well done on that. Did lockdown affect your creativity in a different way? Did you approach the way you made the music any differently? Did you feel more energized in a way because you had all the time to do it, or was it a hard thing to do, or how did you feel about going through the process in that slightly different way?
Well, I kind of phoned up. I think the first thing that happened is when things go bad for the band always seems to, when there's hard times around, we always write more, or I always write more and want to be more productive, and kind of I'll focus on my jingles and not shut the world out kind of thing. And it's kind of like an escape mechanism for me. And I'm quite phoned up Andy. I was like, look, we have to do something just now. I'm bored. I'm really bored. We've got to get the band doing something. So a few games of Call of Duty and a few phone calls and demos passed. I think, like, Jordan, your contribution was phenomenal because it was like you'd send like a scratch iPhone record and then Jordan would tweak it, and then it'd go to the band and we'd all kind of discuss like, yeah, we've got these songs and they were written about lockdown and emotions, but it was, the band's quite happy-go-lucky, so it was never too dark. It was just kind of a way of like dealing with what was going on, I would guess.
I guess like the most kind of care we've taken with writing songs, because usually like we'll get to practice and like Sam and Jordan will have ideas that they've kind of worked out together, and then we'll just jam them and see what works. But because we couldn't really do that, we actually had time to kind of sit down with the songs, listen to them, and really think about our parts and how it was going to come together. So it's quite cool like that. But also,
yeah, we definitely tweaked this a lot more than others for sure. Like it was definitely like, because you didn't really have that space, there was absolutely the most I've ever seen. Like send a recording over, how does this sound? No, that, and it's a long process because normally you can just say, I'll change that on your amp, but we're sending recordings constantly to each other about, you know, does this sound fine, or how we should change. So writing wise, it was probably the longest process because we were all in our homes and stuff, but definitely really satisfying once it, and everyone, it was good because there was a lot of positivity going about, and there was a lot, we were, quite a tight-knit band, so we criticized each other maybe more so because we had the time to, work on it and go, well, that doesn't really work, why not try this? And that really, I think, reflects in the EP.
Mm.
So do you definitely feel that almost like the restrictions of the lockdown and the sort of way you were forced to communicate just made you work harder and made you be more, have more attention to detail that perhaps you would have if you were just sitting in a room sort of as mates chatting about the sound and your amp settings and all these sorts of things?
Yeah, for sure. Because it was different in the sense that once we decided the songs, it was so we were lucky that me and Sam both had Logic, which is what Tyndall from Open Eyes Production uses, and he was able to tell us like what needs to be recorded when.
Was that it was quite convenient that you could go back and forth with the person who was kind of at the helm of the production, so you both kind of understood what program you're using and stuff, so you're kind of on the same page?
Yeah, we all had like a little bit of experience in it, and it especially like the fact that like for ages, like I think all of us were at one point furloughed, so like we just had all this spare time. We were able to actually learn a bit more about the recording process, which helped us know what we needed to do to get it better on our end, and then when we sent it over, it was a lot easier to be mixed together.
Yeah, I mean, certainly you're gonna find that you've got a lot more time to just sort of figure things out in the program. Certainly I found that I've been using Ableton a lot during lockdown, and getting a lot more comfortable using that, so it would be the same way any DAW, be it Logic or Pro Tools or whatever, but certainly it certainly sounds very professional, your EP. You should definitely be proud with the sound production on it. It's really good. Let's go and actually talk about the songs now individually. So there are 3 songs on the EP, and there's Home, Reclaim Me, and All You Gotta Do. Can you tell me about each of the tracks individually? So if we start with Home, as I understand, that's just a general sort of how lockdown was affecting how you were living your life and presumably mental health and stuff like that. Could you tell me a bit more about that song?
Yeah, I think that's the song that had the energy for the EP. That's where it kind of stemmed from. You hear about bands talking about like this was the track that the album came out of. I kind of feel like this was the track that the EP came out of. And basically, I had a couple of chords, but when I was writing the songs, I was trying the lyrics to Home. What I was trying to do is speak to the guys and hear how they were feeling. That's why it's got 2 choruses, because there's some points where like everyone was going great and we're like, yeah, we're on furlough, let's get the cans in, Call of Duty, no work. And then there's other times when it's like, oh, the person in the corner's got the virus, and you're a bit like, there was different times, and because like Andy was saying about the back and forth, it gave us time to keep tweaking the lyrics. So in the end, we kind of came out with a song that's like all the different more than one emotion. There's more than one kind of structure and thought path going on in the song. So I'm really quite proud of that as well. And you hear it with the different voices at the end and the production breakdown in the middle. So it was quite a well thought out song, as opposed to being like a 3/4. But that really gave the EP a lot of energy, I thought.
Yeah, it's good to get a bit of depth to your songwriting and sort of show the different emotions and the different shades and how you're feeling and just how it's been affecting you in a bit more of a, as I say, in a deep way, and getting everything, because there's a lot going on in this lockdown with people's emotions, how they're feeling. There are definitely ups and downs, and it's excellent that you've been able to reflect that through your lyrics and through your music. So what about your second song, Reclaim Me? So again, I think with that song, you told me that you were trying to get hold of or maintain some sort of normality, and that kind of theme went into the song. So could you tell me a bit more about the second track, Reclaim Me?
It's just, yeah, you're right. It's about the emotions you go through. I was just wanting, I let the emotions take control of me, you know, which is the line that Sam pitched. And yeah, really just, I don't know, like as much as we like to have a joke and a laugh a lot of the time, like, you know, if you've seen Tapedeck on social media, on stage, I like to joke. That was nice to do a song that actually reflected how we all felt, you know, during lockdown, and that, you know, we just want to kind of go back to normality, but at the same time, it's okay that life's not that great right now. And I think that's definitely my favorite track, because we did the music video for it and we had friends and family submit their clips and stuff. And, you know, that's reflected in the song. We just wanted to showcase how people were feeling. Or some people are a bit bored, some people are a bit, you know, maybe some people are happy to be off work and stuff, but it's just a song about all the kind of emotions, and they're all okay. And that's generally why I really love Reclaim Me and stuff, you know.
So whose idea was it to do this music video? Was there anyone going to claim that as their own little idea? What was the inspiration? So you're saying that the video included, was it your fans? Was it your fans that were involved, or were there friends and family involved as well? Who were the people that were starring in your video?
A little bit of everyone. So we decided we wanted to do a few music videos, and when I kind of, there was definitely that conversation, because we knew one of them was going to do that. Like in the end, you know, we can't film proper high production videos, and it's been done a million times, like, you know, and I was just like, oh, we'll have everyone singing along our song. Maybe it was going to be Home, and it was like, we'll do it like Nickelback, like Rockstar. We'll have our friends, and then everyone was like, Andy, we're not doing that. Like that's just not happening. And then I was like, no, I do want something with clips. I do want something with clips. And then kind of hearing Reclaim Me, I was like, well, instead of, you know, doing Rockstar by Nickelback, we'll do like something where people just submit their, you know, clips of them being at home. And too many people we sent out a brief and stuff, and we asked people on our Facebook and our social media clips, and we got a lot. It was really good to use them and put them together. A lot of people were really unsure what to do. I had many conversations for about 3 weeks. It's like, all I'm doing is reading a book and something, but that's what you're doing in lockdown. And that's great. We want to just showcase exactly what people are doing. We don't want to tell anyone what to do. We just show us anything. And people are on bikes, you know, people are, you know, there's a lot of dogs. I didn't actually notice that until like the video came out and someone mentioned, well, there's a lot of dogs in your videos. Like, there really is, yeah. So I mean,
good videos.
But it was just, yeah, that video came, but for the fact that I wanted to do some sort of people submit clips, sing along, and yeah, and then it was just like, well, let's do something a bit nicer, you know. So we decided eventually on that.
It's certainly nice to get an honest reflection of what people are doing in lockdown. I think you said in your little pitch that you sent to me that it was like a little time capsule. So certainly if you're directing it, you're sort of putting your own slant on it anyway. So if you're just kind of asking people to just genuinely be doing what they are doing in lockdown, it is nice to get a more honest reflection of what people have been up to, definitely. So if you haven't checked out that video, where can people find that video?
YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, literally just if you search Tapedeck 45 on whatever profile or platform you've got, we're pretty much on there.
So what about the third track on the EP? I got a very small amount of information on what that was about. It's kind of just boiled down to you being musicians and trying to avoid the onset of alcoholism during the lockdown. Could you elaborate that a little bit further, please? Thanks.
Musically, it does come across the frustration of it, the frustration of us not being able to be in the same room as each other. So I think it definitely gives it more of a punk edge, to especially later on in the song, the sort of last third of it, it definitely comes across in that.
I think with the first couple of weeks are great when you're off work and you can just sit and drink cans, but I think after about week 3 you start seeing your bank balance. That's when the inspiration for work start coming around, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah, I think everyone has to be a little bit more careful with their purse strings when you're furloughed, or if you're unemployed during lockdown, as I'm sure there are plenty of people who are as well. So yeah, definite frustrations, both for yourselves and for probably many people who would want to listen to your music as well. You can probably definitely relate to that.
Thank God for free Call of Duty though, eh? I mean, that would have been a killer if that wasn't free right now.
Yeah, definitely. I've actually not played any computer games during lockdown. I've managed to read a bit more, but generally I've been doing a lot more of this blogging stuff, and a bit more of my own music, and trying to get good at keepy ups in the garden as well. That was when it was actually nice weather, that was my little task to go about for myself.
Why don't we do a challenge, right? We can
That's what I
put
was
two
thinking.
listeners and see if one of us can do more keepy ups than you.
Oh, band v band.
I'm terrible.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
reckon
well, band on.
Or something. Yeah, we can try that for a laugh. One of you will totally ace it.
Yeah, I think only two of us.
There was a local band. There was a local band in Fife, who did the keepy up, not the keepy up, the crossbar challenge at Starks Park where Wraith Rovers play in Kirkcaldy, and they actually managed to hit the crossbar, which was great. So that was Darren Forbes of Shambolics managed to do that. I don't know if you'd ever do it again if you tried. But yeah, it was certainly good for the football club and their social media. But yeah, we can try and outdo that. We can try and get some keepy ups on the go. So what are your ambitions moving forward for the band?
I'd like to hear Burns' perspective on this. He's kind of been in the sort of two stages of this.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm curious where you think we're going.
When did I join the band? Like a year ago?
You know what? I
was that?
honestly, if you asked me last week, I would have said 6 months ago, but really lockdown's been 3, and I also got a Snapchat of us practicing just before like your first gig. So you've kind of...
At least a year.
Yeah, at least a year.
Oh, yeah, so about a year, yeah.
So when I joined, the idea was to like play a bunch of gigs. That was pretty much it. We didn't really plan anything more than that. So we played a couple of gigs, had a bunch of other stuff planned, which obviously didn't go through because of this. So as well as like the EP that we originally planned, when we eventually get to that, I'm just like really excited to get gigging again.
So you said that you were planning a tour, were you? Is that as part of the EP release? Is that something that you're hoping to get back to as soon as you can?
Absolutely. I can't wait for the 5 of us. We say tour, but really I think we'd all agree it's just a lads' holiday.
Mm-hmm.
Where we play city to city, really. That's the kind of vibe that it's been. It's been more like mates hanging out recently, and that's been just fantastic. And that's all you need to keep it going, really, is just keep hanging out, keep enjoying it, and keep that going, really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, last time we toured, it was little, and I would definitely be more cautious this time, because last time we toured, so it was me and you, because it was different. Because this, oh god, it must be like 2015 or something. It's been about 5 years since we did like a proper tour in that, because we reunited and we got Burns on drums, and really just because of everything, this was meant to be our, like, not comeback tour, but just like, the EP we had planned and the tour was going to be like, the next step, because we got everything like done and all the new songs down, a new set. But yeah, so it's just if we are hoping to tour again. I'm honestly, if I had to be realistic, I'd say April next year, because everything by the end of the year is kind of already planned and stuff, and we just released an EP, so we'll probably record an EP this year and then tour it end of the year and then like tour at the start of next year.
I'm actually just so excited to play these songs together.
Yeah,
we've never practiced any of them as a band.
So I can't wait for that.
Yeah, certainly that's been a lot of bands and artists musically that I've seen on social media have really made a thing that they're really dying to get back out there and play to a live audience. Certainly, I know I've been making use of Facebook live streams and stuff like that. But you really can't beat being in a venue in front of real people. I know it's real people, but on a stream. But people who are actually in the room with you, there's that energy to the performance. And certainly I feel we'd all like to get back to that when it's safe to do so. So in terms of where you are just now, with this EP, how can you support this EP? Where can you listen? Is it streamable? Is it downloadable? What are the best places to go to for your EP?
I think it's on just about every platform that it could be, like Apple Music, Spotify was the main one.
YouTube.
Yep, that's it.
YouTube, yep.
That
SoundCloud.
covers a lot of places.
Yeah, pretty much. It's on Instagram videos as well. There's Facebook Live videos on our page.
Or was that the other one that was on Shazam?
No, they're all on Shazam too. If you're out in the street and you hear a party blaring and you don't know what that good tune is, just Shazam it, and I'm sure it'll tell you it's Tapedeck.
If it's Tapedeck, it could be another song, but if it is Tapedeck, it'll work. We also been discouraging people. Not like we made this for kind of fun, and it really wasn't too bad for us. But if anyone wants an actual like digital copy rather than like streaming services, just email the band and we'll send you a free copy. We're at this point, it's like just donate to local charities and stuff instead of buying it. Like we never really charge for our music because we just kind of like playing, and the music just kind of comes along. But if anyone wants it, tapedeck45music@gmail.com. We'll send you if you don't want to get it on any sites and stuff. But yeah, we're just stream it. It's on YouTube. It's free. Go buy some live tickets. Go buy some musicians whose career it actually is. We're just doing this for fun. We're not career musicians. So go support. Buy their music and just listen to ours for fun.
So that's tapedeck45music@gmail.com. Did you say?
Yes. If you just want a free digital download, if you don't have Spotify or Apple Music or any of the other ones, I can't even. No one remembers. Thanks.
I'd be quite interested to see can you get metrics for like people Shazamming your music? Like there was like one person at a party like somewhere in Perth that was blaring your tunes. I wonder if your distributor does that.
Yeah, I think DistroKid does like let you know if someone's Shazammed your song, which is pretty cool. It'll almost definitely always be one of us that's done it, but
yeah. We're at the party going, "Hey guys, you can Shazam us."
No, but I think we had like 300 listeners the other week from Germany on because you'd Spotify for artists now lets you see where the listeners are, and we're like, "Wow, that's crazy,"
Yeah, we've definitely put more effort putting out. This has been our most successful release, and I think it's because we've had all this free time that we've been able to contact people and just get it out there and really just push it as much as possible. And it makes me realize we maybe should have done that with the other ones, but
learn.
So this has definitely been the most successful thing we've ever released, and it's really nice to see. It's like I think all tracks are over 1,000 listens on Spotify, which it took our first ever single 5 years to do that. So we're happy.
You've certainly built upon all the work you've put in previously as well, I suppose, and you've learnt about how to push things. I certainly wouldn't mind having over 1,000 streams on every song on the EP that I next release. That would be great. I think is that when it starts showing you on Spotify. Because it's like the less than 1,000, so it's nice to get an actual tangible figure rather than just less than 1,000, isn't it?
Yeah. You can log in your profile though, man. If you claim Spotify for artists, you can go in and see if it's below 1,000.
And then
yeah. They're on Spotify for artists. You'll be able to do that. So I can look at my nice figures and see what they're at. It'll be 999 or something like that. So if someone wants to stream Cornfield Chase, that's the one to do. Thanks very much for coming and having a chat with me, guys. Just one last thing I've noticed in the past sort of day or so, we've been getting a little information on the Let the Music Play campaign, which is currently doing the rounds on social media. I saw a little petition for, what's this?
Cornfield Chase. There it is.
It's not the Hans Zimmer track. Stay away from the Hans Zimmer track.
And that's you at 1,000 plays. Well done, man.
Maybe not quite, but I'll get there. So yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, just wondering what you're thinking about all the news that's coming out about the Music Play campaign. If you've seen any of that, if you've not been working too hard today, what are your thoughts on that?
I think it's vital for our economy that it keeps going. I think it's depends how you see it, because if you see the culture that we grew up in, to take the music venues away from us and to threaten that, we wouldn't be friends, we wouldn't have the lifestyle that we have, we wouldn't be the people that we were. So I feel like we've got a lot to, as Andy said, we're a fun band, we're not a serious band, but we're behind that 100%, in my opinion. From what we've seen, is since 2010 I feel like music venues have been declining and struggling, and I feel like they've been needing support for a long time, and now obviously the pandemic has shone a light on how fragile and how hard people in the music industry have to work to earn a living, especially being on furlough and not having other sources of income. Like, if obviously some musicians are lucky with streams, but others, they literally make their lifestyle from playing, and if they can't do that, it's discriminating against their lifestyle almost, you know?
Certainly, it involves a lot of people. I think the figure they said is 50% of employees within the live music industry. Their jobs are at risk currently, as you say, from perhaps even years of underfunding or lack of support, and then the pandemic's hit, and it's just all really went wrong in terms of live music. So yeah, I think it's certainly, I put out some posts today stating some of the facts and the figures, as well as some photographs of some bands that I've put on at my nights as well, and tagged some of the venues in that. Certainly, I put on quite a few gigs at Leith Depot last year, and they were obviously having their own little struggle with their lease and stuff like that, and their landlord wanting to sell it to property developers. So just again, the pandemic's compounded on all these things, and it's good. Even as you say, if you're just kind of doing it for a bit of fun, certainly without your smaller music venues, even just having a nice time playing with your friends isn't going to be as easy. So definitely something to get behind. But I'd like to congratulate you on Songs for the Socially Distanced. It's a really cracking little EP, well produced, very, very cleanly produced, nice kind of earworms within there. So anyone who's watching this and they've watched to the end, I'd just like to point you in the direction of all those streaming services, and also if you'd like to hit them up for a download, head over to tapedeck45music@gmail.com. So just thanks very much, guys, for being part of this video stream, and thanks for helping me with the tech, which I'm still getting my head around as we speak. So thanks very much.
Thank you.
A lot of fun.
Cheers.
Absolute pleasure. Take it easy, guys.